We are back and we are Coach Talk, and I've got LJ this time on the phone because we are remote and LJ's talking to me from a different location. Hi LJ.
Hey Dave, how's your week?
My week has been busy, but you know what? As always, I say it's been epic. So how's your week been?
We have had an epic week, haven't we? We got to do some pretty amazing stuff this time last week that we would I don't know about you, but I'm super excited about the next 12 months. That set us on a massive trajectory of what's possible.
Totally agree. LJ and I did a 4-day training course, which is something we decided to do off our own bat. And we do this because we encourage everyone else to make themselves better and keep educating themselves and never-ending improvement. And we do the same thing. So we did 4 days of intense training, which was, and I know you think the same, LJ, it was epic. We had a fantastic time. Do you know how many hours a day we did in Melbourne?
I wouldn't have a clue. However, the intensity of it, I know we basically started at 8 o'clock and then finished at, I don't know, it's midnight,
Yeah.
it sounds insane. However, welcome to business. Business is insanity. It's uncomfortable. And one thing that I like to tell the students that I work with or the people that we work with, I call them students, but that's okay.
Yeah.
To be good at what you do, get coached, regardless of whether it's business or whether it's coaching. You know, great coaches need to be coached. Or there's no excuse for not having better knowledge when there's better knowledge out there you can plug into.
Absolutely. There are people out there with fantastic knowledge and people out there that, and we saw that last week, they just blew our minds with content and things that we hadn't thought about, things that we can use in our podcasts, in our business, in our personal lives. There's things out there that it was fantastic. So, and I want to thank you for the 4 days as well, because you kept me company. You helped keep me on track. It was a lot of work, and we had little rest in between. I know when we both got back to our respective places, there was not a lot of sleep, and it was back into it next morning. And I think, it was something great. So if we can do it, everybody else can do it as well.
Absolutely. And if you do decide to step up and do something awesome in your business, like an intensive like we've just done, recommend the jelly snakes. They're awesome for a bit of sugar and energy and mental stimulation, and a little Mars bar here and there too. They got us through.
It was great. You were slipping me little jelly snakes, and a couple of times you dropped off I think you must have seen my head starting to drop a little bit, and you dropped off a coffee on my desk and sort of walked away with a bit of a cheeky grin, and I thought, oh, LJ, you're a bit of a lifesaver. So you rock. You're fantastic, and thank you for giving me 4 days of just awesomeness. It was really cool.
Oh, look, it was so good to just hang out and to do that together. And we just before we get into today's session, massive shout out to everyone we hung out with. But one very special person that we promised we'd do a shout out to, which was Jessamy with a J. So we would like to do a massive shout out to Jessamy and her husband David. Amazing people. Just can't wait to keep being connected around you. So
awesome. We met hundreds of people. It was a massive event. We met so many people, and we met Jessamy, and Jessamy has a unique name, and she kept saying it's Sesame with a J, Sesame with a J. So for the whole of these days, we'd go, well, hey, Sesame with a J. So I agree, LJ. Big shout out. Sesame with a J. David, you guys are fantastic, and we're going to catch up with you guys again. And we like to shout out to people on our podcast here and there. So you are it for this podcast, and great meeting you, and we will see you again.
Absolutely. So without further ado, what are we going to discuss today, Dave?
So today is on the back of what we just did and meeting wonderful people and going out and about into our learning environment. And part of this is we got immersed into a whole new group of people that we will be collaborating with and doing some work with down the track, which is fantastic. So today's topic is who you hang with is who you become.
Such a great topic.
Yeah,
Such
who
a
you
great
hang
topic.
with is who you become. So for those, and we always try to pick topics that are easy for people that haven't had coaching and people that are getting interested in the coaching space about mindset and things like that. And we like to have nice, easy topics where we can just break it down a little bit for about half an hour, have a bit of a talk, and get people thinking about this. So this is an interesting topic because if you look around wherever you go, being it shopping centres, sporting facilities, in the business workplace, even in family environments, in your family tribe, and you have a look at people, who you hang around with generally is who you become. And as a result of this, this can shape pretty much the rest of your life. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, so for an example, like social interactions, let's go down the social path and go down that track. So social interactions, they do play a significant role in your personal development. And individuals often adopt traits and values from those in their social circle. That's because they become relatable to the people that they are hanging around with. So,
Oh, 100%.
yeah, so if I go into two extremes on the spectrum here, if you look at, I'm fairly blunt, I just call it how I see it. If you look at a group of guys sitting in a park and they are just sitting under a tree and doing nothing, they're just spending each day just sitting together doing nothing, and they're not really motivated to do anything at all. They hang around together every day in the same spot, and that's just what they do. And that
Comfort breeds comfort, doesn't it?
it does. Comfort does breed comfort. That's a great one. And that's just what they do because they're relatable together, and who they hang with is who they become. They start to talk the same. They start to behave the same. They move in the group as the same people. On the other side of it, you look at someone who is successful in business or successful in sport. They hang around with people and they become that. And I always go back to a boxing or other sports as well. I've got people I've known through tennis and boxing and sport. In pennant tennis, for example, I've seen people that hang around with excellent coaches, excellent players. They hang around with clubs that have got good value, good leadership within the tennis club, for example, and they become that. And suddenly they become, through training, coaching, through mentoring, through pushing themselves and their abilities, they become other people around them. And you may see that in gymnasiums as well, LJ. People, they hang around, they go to the gym a little bit out of shape, and within 6 to 12 months, they walk out of the gym looking a lot more buff. They're fit, they're muscular, they've got a diet program, they've got supplements, they've got a routine where
Great mindsets too.
yeah,
Just
and
really, everything lives. Everything lives. From
everything
physical to
lives.
spiritual to your whole outlook, your
Yeah,
ability to get up and do what needs to be done.
yeah,
That's a massive big mind shift. Have
yeah.
you ever noticed that whilst you're on that journey of lifting yourself out of one circle into where you choose to be, sometimes the friendship groups change?
Absolutely. And this is a challenge for people, I think, LJ, because the friendship circle, the friendship group can change if people want to become who they want to become and their friends or the people in their circle don't align with that. And this can cause some issue because they have to make some difficult decisions. And I find this can be interesting because people can do one of two things. They can stay where they are, or they can become what they want to become, and then that may entail a difficult conversation. It may mean they have to just take a different path to what the other people or another person in this circle is doing. That's okay. It's absolutely okay because you have to be true to yourself and you have to be true to
100%.
the life you want to live, as far as I see it. And please, if you have another opinion, let me know, LJ, what you think about this.
No, I totally agree. And what you'll find is that as your circles evolve, because that's what we do, we're growing.
Yeah,
We don't stay babies for long. We grow into these amazing humans that are capable of
yeah,
amazing things.
yeah,
But one thing I've noticed that you'll have some people in your circles that they're what we've referred to before as your Body Buddies.
Yeah.
They will support you no matter where you go, what you do, how much you choose to elevate. They are your cheerleaders, and even if they don't understand the decision, you can count on them without question.
Yeah.
Those people are your diamonds.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, yeah. I still love this concept of hide the body buddies. I think we have to trademark that. I love it.
We do have to trademark that, but
I love it.
it's so true. And we even brought that up around the conversations we were having whilst we were out learning ourselves.
Yeah.
And amazing, really amazing to get people thinking about that and starting to go, oh, there's people on my list that I need to really take stock of. Are they serving me? Am I serving them? Because we're growing in different directions. And it's okay to grow in different directions. No trees grow the same. Everyone wants to head towards the light. In terms of if you're a plant, you grow up, but some grow out before they grow up, and that's okay too.
Yeah, sure, 100%. I agree with that. And I know that hide the body buddies are your one, maybe two, but one or two people in your life that, regardless of what you do, they will come out of your corner. They'll come out boxing. If you need them, they will be there regardless of whatever you do. And the next level, the next tier above that is who you hang with is who you become. So for people listening to our podcast, if there's something you do in your life that is important to you, whether it be business or sport or relationships, anything like that, take a bit of a look at the moment and just see who you are hanging around with, and then ask yourself some questions about, is this how you want to be as a person? And look at the group, look at who you've got around you, and have you become that, or is there any sort of issue, or is there a disconnect with where you are with other people in the group? And having that awareness, and LJ, with our coaching, we always talk about expanding people's awareness. Having that awareness at the moment about where you are at can launch you into a completely new direction, and that, and I'm sure you agree, when you hit a new direction, it's unfamiliar and it might be a little bit interesting and new for you, but I find as we do that more and more, and you make the unfamiliar familiar, it's quite exciting when you change direction and you go into the unknown.
Oh, absolutely. We've always been of the philosophy that growth doesn't happen in a comfort zone.
Yeah.
And we embrace the surprise and the uncertainty all the time. It's like Christmas. I love Christmas. Speaking of which, it's coming up. So if people imagine embracing uncertainty like a gift, a gift that they're giving that's a total surprise, you get to unwrap it, you get to shake it, and you get to enjoy the opportunity that's in the box for you. But one thing I do want to just touch on, though, is it's okay to grow away from the people that your circles, like we've just been touching on.
Yeah.
One thing that's not okay, regardless of whether you're growing away from or growing towards from, is there should always be respect. So it's okay to grow away as long as the respect is there, and it's okay to grow towards as long as there is respect. Nobody should ever tolerate disrespect for themselves, and if you are being disrespected by anyone in your circle, that's a really good indicator of where you need to put your energies, and looking for the people who are meant to help you, because sometimes we just need a little bit of a guidepost to know who's meant to be in our world and who's not.
Yeah, I love that. And one thing, I love that. That's great, because we always talk about in nearly every podcast that we do is your values and beliefs, and also setting boundaries, which is so important if you want to live your life and live true to your life. And you talk about the respect, and that ties in with what are your values and what do you believe in? How do you believe you should be treated, and where are your boundaries set as well? So it's sort of it's like, I think we spoke earlier today about this. Everything is in Olympic rings. The rings overlap, and there's things that keep overlapping together, and it ties into the big story, which is pretty much how you live your life.
Absolutely. I love that we're such sports nerds.
we are. We're such sports nerds. It's talking about the sport. There's a young lady that has started boxing a few years ago, and I always go back to boxing, so I love my boxing. And she ended up with a coach who is a previous national coach who's based in Melbourne. He's a very, very good coach in boxing. He's very well respected, and he just produces great people. She knows who she is, and he knows who he is. she started from scratch. And 3, 4, 5 years later, she is climbing the ladder to being one of Australia's best female boxers in her amateur weight division. Um,
Wow. Massive shout
yeah,
out to both of them.
massive shout out. And the reason I've thought about this today is I popped into a coffee shop today, as well, that's
As
something
we
different for
do.
me, as we do. And I met a guy who was just fantastic, and we were talking away. And I was in Collingwood, and it was not too far away from where this gym is. And he started saying, "Do you know this guy?" I said, I do. And we started talking about him and his boxes who he produces and things like that. And it was interesting. He goes there and just does basic fitness and workout and stuff. And he mentioned this female boxer, and he said she walks in and without any prompting from anybody, she's straight into it. Stretching, exercises, skipping, pad work, into sparring, the whole lot. And people just stand back and are amazed at her drive and what she does. And she's obviously now a very well accomplished boxer, and she's going to make international news one day. But it prompted me to think about today, who you hang with is who you become. She has become an elite athlete in only a short space of time, which is only a few years. She will become a podium athlete. I'm confident of that down the track. Who you hang with is who you become. And that was a great example for me by someone who I'd never met before in his coffee shop. And he did make a great coffee, by the way. Um, and we had a commonality there, just talking about someone that we both knew. And it prompted me to think about today's topic, because it could have gone somewhere else. I don't know her very well, and I don't know her background. But let's say, just for example's sake, she decided to sit outside the boxing club every day against a brick wall and just sit there and read a book. And other
Yeah,
people
she's
did
not going to
that.
achieve that way, is she?
Exactly. So she stepped up, she stepped forward, she's grown into what she wants to be, who she wants to be. So the questions I'd like to ask people that are listening to our podcast today, I put together a couple of questions, LJ, that I think is important for people that are thinking about this. Who you hang with is who you become. And there's 3 questions which moves into a challenge at the end of our podcast. And the first one is, who do you spend time with? And I know
That's a good one.
yeah, and I know it's a simple question, but when you sit back and reflect and think about it, who do you spend time with? It may give you some insight into who you hang with is who you become, or who you are at the moment. So have a think about that, and be honest with your answers out there, and just think about, who do you spend time with? Which then leads to question number 2. Who do you want to be, and what do you want? And
Well, again, great questions. And I
yeah,
think the key to that one is, as we've been talking, and I'm sure that people are well aware, that you have to firstly imagine who you want to be,
yeah,
and then second of all, the one of the best mindset ways of achieving it is to actually live like you've already achieved it.
yeah, 100%,
So get
100%.
clear on who you want to be, and then start to become that person, and start to act like the better version of yourself. Because when you start to elevate yourself now, the rest is inevitable.
Yep. When you step into that role and you act like you're already doing it, what does that do with and let's go a bit deeper here, what does that do with your mindset and your neural pathways? Let us know about that.
Yeah, it grows in neural pathways. It creates bridges
Yeah,
around blockages. It actually, Melbourne Cup's just been, for those of us in Australia, and most of the horses, or not most of the horses, but a lot of the horses during the races, they wear blinkers. And we, as humans, get very blinkered. So
yeah,
when we start to elevate and start to dream about the person we want to become, the life we want to lead, we take the blinkers off, and we actually start to go, oh, there's a whole other world to the left and to the right of me, with of possibilities that I hadn't even considered, which gets back to what we've just experienced on the weekend. We
yeah,
actually have had our blinkers removed. So I love this question, because
yeah,
being able to really take a step backwards and have a land, or is it landscape? No. What is it when you take your phone, you do the whole, you you stitch all your pictures together and you take a really big long picture. Is that a landscape one?
Yeah, it's a landscape one where you have it's a landscape. So it's like a panoramic.
Panoramic, that's what we need. So
Yep.
panoramic view, you can tell that it's late on a Friday, can't you? Oh my goodness. Yeah, so we need to be able to have a panoramic view of
Yep.
what's possible,
Yep.
because if we don't give ourselves the justice of taking that step back and actually creating that panoramic view, we get locked in to just either a horizontal or a vertical in the viewfinder within the blinkered zone.
Yeah, I love it. And that's a great analogy because, like we always talk about in coaching, when you take the blinkers off, you increase your awareness and you suddenly see a lot more.
Oh, yeah. And you find that there's amazing, amazing people standing on the periphery that you didn't even see.
Yeah.
That are there waiting for you to notice them, and they're happy to help.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got 2 questions, and the third one, so we've got who do you spend time with, who do you want to be, and what do you want? And that's important. What do you want? And the third question, the final one, are you living your true life? So are you living your true life?
I say that hesitantly because I think if you're asking me personally, just to lead by example, I would say we're getting there.
I think everyone's getting there. Yeah. Yeah. If you know where you want to go and where you want to be, you can move towards living your true life. I don't think everybody's living their true life.
I don't think that they are, because not everybody knows what they want, which is part of these questions that in the challenges that you've raised. I think they're fantastic questions because at the end of the day, it's a turtle's journey. And I say that because the turtle won the race, not the hare.
Yeah.
Consistency wins, one foot in front of the other, little bit by little bit. Some people do succeed racing around like a hare, but most of us need that slow, steady consistency. Consistency wins every time.
Yeah, I love it. That is so true. So at the end of every podcast, we always have a challenge, and this one is no different. So the challenge for this one is, after those 3 questions,
drum roll, please.
Drum roll. So with those 3 questions, and you can play this podcast back as many times as you like and write them down, is increase your awareness. Take the blinkers off. Increase your awareness of who you hang with is who you become. And your challenge is, do you need to improve those around you? And that's based on if you choose, based on questions 1 and 2. Do you need to improve those around you if you choose, based on questions 1 and 2?
Oh, that's a great challenge.
Yeah, who do you spend time with, and who do you want to be, and what do you want? So that's a big challenge, I think, that one. What do you think?
That's a great challenge.
Yeah.
And if anyone needs help, we'd love to be able to just sort of hash that out with you a little bit more, because sometimes we do. I know Dave and I, we always bounce off each other, don't we?
Yeah,
we always sort of, I've been thinking about this, and that's the beauty of having HBTs and people that you trust in your circle. So go and find them. The world's your oyster. Enjoy it, and let us know how you go with the challenge. We love the feedback. Love the feedback.
We love the feedback, and we are here to help. If there's anything we can do for you as individuals or in a business, and you need us to help you, please reach out. You can reach us on our website, LJ, which is
coachtalk.com.au.
Yes, it is. So please check us out there, and also our podcasts are released on the website and also through our other platforms, which is Amazon and YouTube, Amazon Music, YouTube. We're on Spotify, and we've also got Insta as well, haven't we?
We have Insta, and sometimes we upload it into the Facebook as well.
We
so
do.
Thank you to everyone who has been feeding back and enjoying the sessions. Can you believe it's been, 14 weeks, Dave?
Already. We're doing so well, and I'm loving this journey. It's great, LJ, and what we do is just great. The feedback is awesome, and we will be shouting out to more people out there, and of course we're going to have some guests coming up as well.
Yes, we are certainly. I know we've been talking about it for the last 14 weeks, but you know what, it's worth the wait. We've got some epic people.
It's worth the wait. We are kicking goals, and thank you so much for your time, LJ, on a remote call. It's fantastic, and it's great to talk to you as always.
Have a great night, everyone.
You too, and I'll talk to you soon.
I will.
See you, LJ.
See you, Dave.
Catch up. Bye now.